Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm has decided to forego his senior season of college football and enter the NFL draft. And I believe this is a gigantic mistake. I don't like it at all. I would not. If I was Jake Fromm, I would not leave to go to the NFL early. It's very important to say this. I love Jake Fromm's leadership. He's a galvanizing leader. He does things I love. I think he's great at the podium. He's great in interviews. He seems like a good dude. There's that show. What is it called? I think it's called QB1 on Netflix. He was phenomenal in high school. I really loved everything he said in that TV show, that documentary series. But you got to understand that, people are going to say, well, Jake Fromm won this many games. He's the blank winningest blank winningest quarterback in Georgia football history. He's a good quarterback because he won a lot of games. Okay, congratulations, you won a lot of games. And that's good. That's a good thing. You want a quarterback that can win. Absolutely. I'm not saying that's bad. But why did Jake Fromm win as a quarterback? Don't just give me numbers. Let's be honest about it. Jake Fromm had incredible talent around him at Georgia. At one point, in the same season, he had two running backs in the backfield behind him. He had Nick Chubb, the running back of the Cleveland Browns, and Sony Michel, the starting running back of the New England Patriots. He had both of them in his backfield as starters the same year, and they both went to the NFL the same year. I mean, they were both at their peak, at their prime in the same season. Jake Fromm has played with so much NFL talent every single year. So, of course, he's going to win a lot of games. His team is usually better than the team they line up against. Jake Fromm is not, the truth is Jake Fromm has a lot of little things he needs to improve on if he's going to become an NFL quarterback. If he wants to succeed as an NFL quarterback, he's got to get better because he's not ready yet. He's not ready right now. I think he could sit for a couple of years and then eventually emerge as a good quarterback. Maybe he sits for 3 years in New England and pulls a Jimmy Garoppolo and suddenly, oh, wow, he's good now. But I have a number of concerns about Jake Fromm that I don't love. You got to understand, we're going to do a film analysis about him eventually. You'll see the things I'm talking about on film. Give it patience. We're going to wait till the NFL draft is closer. Give it 3 months. In 3 months, we'll do a Jake Fromm film analysis video. But he really needs to tweak his mechanics. His mechanics, he doesn't generate enough velocity and drive the ball well enough downfield. He needs to drive the ball better with more velocity downfield. And Jake Fromm is not an elite decision maker. Joe Burrow, the quarterback at LSU, puts Jake Fromm to shame, honestly. I mean, there are multiple moments throughout the season where you would see Jake Fromm misrecognizing an open guy. He just literally wouldn't see that the guy is wide open. Or he would force the ball into coverage. Did anybody watch the South Carolina-Georgia game? Jake Fromm cost his team that game with bad decision-making and a bad pick six. And being at Georgia also really hurt Jake Fromm's development. I hate saying this, but Jake Fromm always had incredible offensive lines. He never had to practice the skill set he's going to need at the NFL level. He never had to really move around a lot in the pocket. He kind of had time for days. It's sitting on cloud nine with nobody around him. He never had to work on stepping up or sliding or extending plays. That's not who he is as a quarterback, and he never had to practice that. Jake Fromm has a really good deep ball. He's got great location down the sidelines, but don't mistake a great deep ball for good arm strength. They're different skill sets. A good deep ball is about location. Can you put the ball deep over the shoulder into the right spot? Well, that doesn't mean that in a situation where Jake Fromm has to make a 25-yard out route on a line deep, he can't throw that pass. Jake Fromm's ability to zip the ball downfield on a line into a tight window isn't there. Throwing a deep ball over the top is very different from driving a ball 25 yards downfield on a line into a small window. He doesn't have the arm strength to drive the ball into a tight window. Arm strength is not about distance. Arm strength is about velocity and the ability to drive the ball into small windows. And so I wish that Jake Fromm was staying in college. I don't think he's ready for the NFL. I like him. I really, really want him to succeed. He's a great dude. And I think he's talented enough. He's good enough where if he sits for a while, he could emerge as a good quarterback. Maybe he could surprise people, do something like what Dak Prescott did or Tony Romo did or Gardner Minshew, where he's on the bench, he's behind a guy for a while, someone gets hurt, he emerges and suddenly is good. But he's not going to be a first-round pick at all. Jake Fromm is not. And I wish he was staying in college to get better and to keep improving because he needs to get better with mechanics. He needs to get better footwork. He needs a lot of tools that aren't there yet as an NFL quarterback. However, I will say this. I like Jake Fromm, and it's possible that with NFL-level coaching, he'll make dramatic improvements. But right now, Jake Fromm is not ready to start at the NFL level. And I really think he's got to make a lot of changes to get better and prepare to be an NFL quarterback.